Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Well, it was a good weekend for college baseball teams in this area. LSU sweeping Missouri, first in the SEC now, probably first overall nationally. Tulane with a big series win at home against South Florida. Southeastern with a big series win. And as a result, Lenny, Tulane and Southeastern now looking a little bit better for at-large bids, and LSU looking a little bit better for maybe a number one overall seed.
Yeah, number one would be great, but at the end of the day, the important thing is to be in the top 8. And I think what LSU did this weekend is no matter what happens the rest of the way, and you got to go to South Carolina this weekend, stop here to go to the lakefront Tuesday night first to play UNO. But I think no matter what happens this weekend, LSU's a national seed, and next week at the SEC tournament as well. I think they have solidified themselves at this point of being in that position. I'm not sure anybody else in the SEC can say that at this point. Some of the top teams faltered this weekend, most notably Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. So that's that's solid. Now, again, South Carolina's playing well. This weekend will not be easy. At one point, it looked a little bit easier, but it will be a good challenge for them.
Well, it certainly will. And, of course, Tulane and Southeastern in good shape. As mentioned, the Zephyrs, a good win at Memphis. They had a real good weekend there, and they're now 2 games over 500.
Yep, one more before they head back home Tuesday night to start a homestand against Oklahoma City. And, you never know when you're going to start playing well, whether it's at home or on the road or whatever. Now it's just a matter of continuing that momentum.
High school baseball and 2 local teams advancing to sophomore and boys play. Of course, John Curtis in 3A, the number 2 seed overall, with a brilliant pitching performance by Daniel Cabrera and an RBI by Hunter Dale, appearing for the first time this year in baseball. You talk about getting guys back at the right time. Cabrera didn't pitch for the first 10 games. Now he's dominant. Dale, his first appearance, drives in the winning run. They win 1-0 at North Vermilion. Read about it at SportsNOLA.com. And then, of course, Brother Martin advancing in the 5A playoffs to the semifinals with a weekend sweep over Byrd.
Good performance by Brother Martin. And, what's interesting is they're potentially, depending on how things finish up today, they could be the only double-digit seed to reach Sulphur in any of the 7 brackets. There's one team that's got a chance to join that party, so to speak. But congratulations to Brother Martin. Congratulations to John Curtis. You're right. Talk about timing, getting those guys back. Cabrera's been sensational in the playoffs. And Dale, we knew it was coming at some point. At some point, he was working to get back. And that's just like, in professional baseball parlance, if you will, that's like getting that guy right at the trade deadline, add him to your roster, a big boost here as you head to Sulphur.
Yeah, pinch hit sacrifice fly to produce the only run of the game in their win at North Vermilion. Very special. On the national scene, some big stories. Of course, the NBA playoffs, the Clippers looking really good. The Cavaliers, LeBron James adding to his legacy with an unbelievable buzzer beater. Certainly Golden State losing to Memphis right now 2-1 is a real story. So there's a lot of good storylines out there as these playoffs get deeper.
It's exactly right. If it wasn't for Cleveland's win yesterday, all of the lower seeded teams would be in control of those series right now. And you've got 2 more chances Monday night for lower seeded teams to take 3-1 leads, much as the Clippers have done. So it's intriguing. It feels like none of the teams that are left have won an NBA title in this century. Not players, teams. So you're going to have someone who hasn't been there in a long time. In some cases, haven't been there at all in position perhaps to win a title.
And then you can read my story on passing the baton in golf. It's time for Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson to pass the baton, reluctantly or not, to the young guns, because the 20-something-year-old crowd looks great. Ricky Fowler, the latest at 26, to break through and win the Players with a brilliant performance. Rory McIlroy, number 1 in the world. He's one of that group. Jordan Spieth is another. Jason Day another. Patrick Reed of LSU is another. Hideki Matsuyama. These are all 20-something-year-old guys who are dominant players already.
Yeah, they are. And Reed, Baton Rouge native, University High, not LSU, but yeah. He's all of these guys outstanding. And you're right. It's time for the next generation. And how great was Fowler yesterday, practically finishing that one in the dark. 17 can be such an intimidating hole to the average duffer out there, but he just made he made easy work of it over the course of this tournament.
Or the average Duffner.
That too.
Okay, just saying. Why not? New Orleans Voodoo, they played tough against the 3-time defending Arena Bowl champion Arizona Rattlers. Had the lead at halftime, but you got to play 2 halves, especially against a team of this magnitude. I guess if there's anything as an encouraging defeat, this might be it, because they played an elite team and played them tight, played them tough, had a chance, but just couldn't finish.
Yeah, and, I know coaches don't like to talk about moral victories, but I think based on what you've seen the last couple of weeks, Coach Coquinos has to be a little more pleased in what he's seen. Unfortunately, this schedule being so front-loaded with all of the home games, 6 of the first 7 at home, that means you've got to play 8 of the last 11 on the road, and that's not the most friendly scenario for a team to have to head back out in that environment.
Starting in Cleveland this Friday night, while the Cavaliers are away in Chicago, the Gladiators at home against the Voodoo. So we'll have that for you and look forward to it. Lenny, it's always a pleasure. Have a great week.
All right. Be Jude and I later this week to get you ready for a great weekend on a lot of fronts.
You got it. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great week, and God bless you.